numbers 12 through 14 are going to be graphing and solving um, single inequalities. So the thing with this one is that you need to understand it's the exact same process as solving equations besides one thing, and that one thing is when you divide or multiply by a negative, you have to change the sign. I guess another thing that would be new is if you had, well, to graph it, right, if you have an equal to, like I have right here for number 13, you would have a closed circle. And if you have an open circle, like number 12, you would have an open circle on the number line. So let's just solve these two here real quick. Now these are similar to the concepts on your SLO. So with number 12, it's just going to be a one-step inequality. So you're just going to get rid of the constant. Adding 8 makes that 0. So m plus 0 is my m, and then negative 10 plus 8 is negative 2. Okay, so again, I didn't have to flip the sign. I never multiplied or divided by anything. I just added 8. So negative 2 is here, open circle, because it's not equal to. It's just strictly greater than, and the key here for students is to remember this is a greater than because you always read inequalities starting with the variable. And so I'm going to read it left to right, and I come to the opening first, so therefore greater than. All right, so therefore so greater than would be to the right. All right, so with 13, the only difference with here is that you're going to have to 15z distribute. Okay, well after you distribute, you're going to have a two-step, and once again, I don't have to flip the sign here either because I'm not dividing by a negative. I'm going to be dividing by a positive 15. So here I'm at 32. Okay, 32. I had to think about that one for a second. And then divide by 15. Now again, the inequality stays the same, but here my variable's on the right side. So you got to get comfortable with reading inequalities from right to left as well. All right, well this is going to go in twice. So 2 and 2/15 is what that would be. A little bit easier to graph it if you make it a mixed fraction, or you can even divide 32 divided by 15 to get a decimal if you wanted to as well, and work it from there. Because again, when it comes to graphing it, improper fractions aren't very nice. So if you divide it, it's just 2.13. So 2.13 with a 3 repeating. All right, but my point here, the difficulty with this one is that you have to start with the variable, just like we did with 12, but then you're going to read it right to left. And this time I come to the point first, so therefore that's less than or equal to. Another thing with this one is that, so we'll just say there's 3, there's 2. 2.13 is in the middle. The next thing that's different about 13 compared to 12 is that you have a closed circle because it's an equal to. Less than or equal to would be to the left. Okay. One more. Now this last one is where you have to change the sign because you're going to have a negative coefficient which you would have to divide by. So if I have negative 4z minus 14, and that's greater than negative 28, okay, and I go through and I do my two-step just like I did before, so get rid of the constant, and now I'm at negative 14 right here. Maybe I'll color code it. Very important. To get z by itself, you are dividing by a negative. So that's the one red flag. The other one would be multiply by something. But that sign needs to be flipped. Okay. All right. Now I have a z on this side, and then that's positive. 4 goes into 14 3 times with 2 remaining. So 2/4 is a half. Or again, you can just divide it in your calculator. Really, that's 14 divided by 4 is 3.5. To make it easier to graph. Now here, the variable's on the left, so I'm going to read it left to right, and I come to the point first, so that's a less than. So I have an open circle. So here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 3.5's in between it, open circle, less than is always left. Okay,